For more Magic the Gathering resources, check out my friends at paperchampion.net and Kitchen Table MTG. Hey everybody, this is Tao at The Forge, and I just wanted to do a quick video talking about some of the Amonkhet spoilers that have come out. I think some of them are really kind of neat and kind of cool, especially I think the cartouche and trial cards, where you have these repeatable effects are kind of interesting. The only problem is that they're like extremely hard to get rid of. Like with enchantments are just notoriously tough to get rid of. So I'm hoping that we're going to see a whole bunch of enchantment destruction. Otherwise, these are just going to get seriously out of hand, and you're going to see like you're going to see these decks like just get crazy, like, you know, unless there's some form of enchantment destruction or, you know, a lot more of that. I really don't like the art on the dual cards here, but I don't know. I'm not too keen on them anyways. But the ones I really wanted to talk about were there were two cards. One is As Foretold. Now, As Foretold seems like it's going to be like totally broken. But I'm not sure what to think of it. A lot of people have been comparing it to Aether Vial, and it's very different from Aether Vial though. Like Aether Vial you can get out on turn 1, but you have to charge it up, and basically when you add a charge to it, you basically can only cast a creature, but you can only cast it with the mana cost of the charges. So if you've got 2 charges on Aether Vial, you can only cast a 2 mana creature. Alright, and well, you're not actually casting it, you're just putting it onto the battlefield, so it's not counterable either. You know, and that makes it pretty good, but it's not really that broken because you also have to tap Aether Vial to do it, so you can't just do it repeatedly. As Foretold, however, you know, you can kind of, if you have any, like, especially in Modern, man, like, you can, like, force that out, like, super quick with a little bit of ramp, like, maybe even get it out on turn 2, and then start really, like, pumping it up, right? So, you know, the difference is, it says on each turn, so that means your turn and your opponent's turn, you may pay 0 rather than pay the mana cost for a spell you cast with convert a mana cost X or less, right? Where X is the time counters. Now, the problem with that is it's X or less. So this just basically gets bigger and bigger and bigger. So let's say, like, you get this out turn 3. Okay, so by turn 5, you're casting, like, 2 mana spells for free on your turn and your opponent's turn. On turn 6, you're doing 3 mana, you know, and so on and so forth. That's like, I don't know. It seems like really broken to me. You know, it seems like it's almost better than Aether Vial. You know, I don't know if you're going to necessarily see it in Modern, but I don't know. That just seems like a very powerful card for Standard, and already, like, you know, Standard is kind of broken, you know, as it goes. All right. Anyways, the only difference is that you're actually you're actually casting the card, and so it can actually be countered. But still, I don't know, like, this, I guess it remains to be seen, but what do you think of this card? I'd like to hear what other people's opinions of it are. I think it's really powerful. I'm not sure if it's broken powerful, but I think it's kind of ridiculous. The other one I wanted to talk about was Gideon of the Trials. Now, I know everyone's talking about Gideon of the Trials, and this is kind of like along the same lines as I said about the Saheeli Cat Combo before, like when Kaladesh and Aether Revolt came out. I was like, you know, that is going to be like a totally broken card. It's going to be basically Splinter Twin again. And in fact, like, if you see, it's actually worse than Splinter Twin, right? Like Mardu Vehicles and Saheeli Cat Combo basically like dominate the entire format. It's like, you know, it's just ridiculous. Now, what they said is that, you know, we're going to wait and, you know, but we're not doing any bannings. We're going to wait until Amonkhet comes out and see if we're going to, you know, if that changes the format or, you know, changes anything. So maybe we don't have to do any bannings. Okay, but then they just released a whole bunch of stuff that can like just make things even worse. Okay, like Gideon of the Trials, basically fits into the Mardu Vehicles. Right, so you got Gideon, and his 0 power is he can turn into a 4/4 human. Okay, so let's say you put him out turn 1, make him into a 4/4 human. He can crew like a vehicle already. right? So even though he comes in, he's got summoning sickness, you can still use him to crew something, right? He's also got indestructible too, so you can just beat down your opponent with that, afterwards. And then his other zero ability, where you get that emblem, right? So his zero ability is you get an emblem. As long as you control a Gideon Planeswalker, you can't lose the game and your opponent can't win the game. So basically it's like a 3-mana Platinum Angel. Right? And you can't remove emblems. So the only thing you can hope to do is just remove Gideons. But the problem is that Gideons typically have like a lot, they're indestructible, or they create like a bunch of tokens or things like that that make it really difficult to get rid of them. And so the only way you're going to be able to get rid of this is by basically like just building a deck specifically to get rid of this. But if you build a deck with just tons of removal, then how are you going to win yourself? Like basically if you dedicate like half your deck just to countering one other deck, then how are you going to actually be able to win the game on your own? Right? I don't know. I think this card is seriously broken. I don't know how, like, especially because it fits into the already dominant Mardu vehicles. Like that deck is just ridiculous. I don't know what Wizards is thinking. Like, I think that the problem is that they're just having some serious power creep. The cards are just becoming too powerful. And like, it's just getting kind of out of control. Anyways, let me know what you think in the comments. Maybe I'm totally wrong. Maybe, maybe you agree. But yeah, let me know. I'd like to see what other people think, because maybe it's just me overreacting. Although I don't think it is. Like MTG Goldfish agrees, Wedge from Mana Source is agreeing, Desolator Magic agrees, although Desolator complains about everything. Even though I love his channel, but he does tend to complain quite a bit and see the bad side. But anyways, what do you think? I'd like to know. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.